Hello everyone, I am here to discuss about the anthropological theories. We are going to cover the anthropological theories in the part wise. So this is the first part. Now, why we are reading anthropological theories? Anthropological theories helps us to understand why humans live, think and act differently across different places and different time. Since anthropology is a study of human, it is a holistic study of human. So here these anthropological theories are giving directions, are guiding us to study human beings. Now, first theory is the evolutionary theory. So what is the meaning of evolution? According to Darwin's called it as descent with modification. A descent with modification means as we are going to next generation, the next generation is better, can adapt to the situation surrounding. So it is descent with modification. There are some modifications maybe in the biological level, on the cultural level, behavior, etc., which helps us to survive or better progress. Now classical evolutionism and neo-evolutionism, these are the two types of evolutionary schools. They are the sub schools under the classical evolutionism. So under the evolutionism, classical evolutionism include E.B. Taylor, Morgan and Fraser. Charles Darwin also written a book in naming origin of species, which defines evolution as descent with modification. Now Herbert Spencer, he is another thinker. He wrote the book Principle of Sociology. He defined evolution as a change from indefinite incoherent homogeneity to definite coherent heterogeneity through continuous differentiation and integration. Means we are going at all, we can say that we are going from simple to complex. In the primitive society, earlier society, we can see that they have limited roles, limited organization, political organization, social organization. Now we are having more than that. So things are getting complex. Things are getting from unorganized to organized. So incoherent to coherent, we can say. Homogeneity to heterogeneity, more class, more race, and more division based on the wealth or religion. So homogeneity to heterogeneity. Now two schools of evolutionism, classical evolutionism and neo-evolutionism. Classical evolutionism is the 19th century evolutionism, that are the older ones, and neo-evolutionism is 20th century. Now what are the stages of evolution? These are the stages of evolution described by the classical evolutionary thinkers. First one is savagery. Savagery is the earliest stage of human culture. Means at that time there were no fire, nothing. They were using simple tools, stones, for hunting and gathering. Now features are the nomadic life, simple tools. They were not aware of the pottery or metals. They did not discover fire, although they discovered in the later stages. But they were not well aware with the fire. The social life was based on kinship. Kinship includes family, They don't have a written language. They used oral transmission, use symbols to communicate. Now second stage is the barbarism. After savagery, barbarism came. According to classical evolutionary thinker, it is the middle stage of cultural evolution. So what are the features? Beginning of agriculture. Now agriculture started, then pottery came, permanent villages were established. Earlier there was nomadic, so no permanent settlement. Since agriculture came, then only they start settled life. Then development, use of metals. They start extracting support the metals. They get of knowledge of that. Now social organization growth happens. Earlier they were band or earlier they were bands, but later they were transformed into tribes and chiefdom. Means the centralization happens, no formal writing, and trade started. It is a precursor of trade, not on a huge level it started. And then civilization with the most advanced stage, where writing script language originated. The habit of writing, after the discovery of paper, so urban life started. Centralized government, complex economy became complex. From barter to currency is involved here, money is involved. Architecture developed, literature developed, education and religion became organized. Now classical evolutionism features. These are the broad categories, broad characteristics of the thinkers which are under the category of classical evolutionism. The features are unilinearity. All cultures go through the same stages of evolution. They follow a linear sequence, that is savagery, barbarism, civilization. According to them, first savagery came, then barbarism, then civilization, and this follows everywhere. Rectilinearity, it means onward and upward movement of evolution. Onward movement is moving ahead in stages, first this, then this, then this. So advancement is taking place. So E.P. Taylor and L.H. Morgan are two very prominent thinkers under classical evolutionary category. Cultural diversity, not given importance, because they homogenized it and they categorized like one shoe fit all. So they said all over the country, all over the world follows a similar pattern of evolving from savagery, barbarism, civilization. This is also the biggest one of the negative criticism. So this lead to the neglect of unique cultural evolution. So now next characteristic is using historical methods and comparative methodology. Historical methodology means studying, since classical evolutionism was based on studying the secondary sources. Secondary sources means they did not involve themselves into the fieldwork. They used to take the text, historical records, journals, etc., and they used to just read it. So they were like bookworm. They were armchair anthropologists. They were relying on historical records and text. This is also a criticism. comparative methodology involves comparing two or more culture institutions. Like you can say that you can say that the ritual of one place to the ritual of another. So they are comparing it, and in order to find similarity, they can conclude that yes, this is the one of the category of barbarism or one of the category of civilization, and they mark it like that. Survivals are the next characteristics. The survivals are the process, customs, opinions, and so forth which have been carried forward and by force, habit into a new state society. These were the previous things which were relevant, but now not relevant, but still it is practiced. Example, COVID. COVID is the process where the labor pain of the mother while delivering the baby, the same experienced is practiced by the male. It is seen as the support system. It gives emotional strength to the women. So this has not relevance in modern, but still in many matriarchal societies also it is practiced. So it is a remnant of the past. Progressive and cumulative stages process. Cultural elements of past stages carried forward to the next. Means whatever we are in the civilized state or in the barbarism, there are elements of savagery there. So previous stage means if there is savagery, practices were practiced. It is also you can see it in the barbarism. In civilization, you can see the previous practices of both barbarism and savagery. So cultural practices are continuing. They are embedded. Psychic unity of mankind. It is given by the Adolf Bastien, but popularized by Tyler and Morgan. Psychic unity of mankind means people everywhere thinks alike. Means all over the world, the people have a same mentality. Their thinking capacity is alike. So very much similar. That's why they given that the progress happens in savagery to barbarism and then to civilization. They uniformed it. The features of psychic unity. Features of psychic unity is universality.